That's right, Chris. This is the Quick Trip that was burned, and people are coming up, a lot of them upset that they won't be able to get gas or anything else this morning because this is kind of their stop before they head to work or school or wherever. Now, I'm talking with two more gentlemen here. One gentleman says that you were part of last night. You were part of the group that actually stopped traffic from coming in. Yes. Briefly, your reaction to all of this, why?
I believe that it needs to happen. I believe that they're too much worried about what's going on to their stores and their commerce and everything. They're not worried about the murder. They're not worried about the senseless death. That's what I'm worried about.
And real briefly from you, your thoughts.
I just think what happened was necessary to show the police that, you know, they don't run everything.
I don't think they did enough.
There will likely be another explosion in Ferguson. There will very likely be more violence, more charges of police brutality, more arrests, more lives put in danger. That explosion, if it indeed happens, will be for two reasons. First, there are those who will be completely convinced that justice is not being done, that a guilty man will walk, and that a young man who did nothing wrong was killed in cold blood, despite what appears to be forensic evidence to the contrary.
The Times report says Darren Wilson told authorities he was trying to get out of his car when Michael Brown shoved him back in, pinning him. There was a violent struggle. Wilson says Brown punched and scratched him repeatedly, leaving swelling on his face and cuts on his neck. He also told investigators Brown tried to grab his gun. As they scuffled, the gun fired twice. One shot hit Brown in the arm. The second missed. Dorian Johnson was with Brown when the shooting happened and described Officer Wilson's actions differently back in August.
He just reached his arm out the window and grabbed my friend around his neck and was trying to choke my friend.
The Times report does not explain why Wilson fired multiple shots at Brown even after they got out of the car.
He shot again, and once my friend felt that shot, he turned around and he put his hands in the air and he started to get down, but the officer still approached with his weapon drawn and he fired several more shots.
I'm attorney Benjamin Crump.
Benjamin Crump is the attorney for Michael Brown's parents.
He is trying to justify killing an unarmed teenager.
If it turns out to be true, according to the report, that Michael Brown did attempt to reach into the car and grab Officer Wilson's gun, does that change the equation at all?
Not at all, but again, that's his version. Whatever happened in that car, Michael Brown Jr. was running away from him.
The second reason has nothing to do with seeking justice. It has everything to do with someone who has never missed an opportunity to get his face in front of the cameras and who will stoke the fires of hate at any given opportunity, the truth be damned, no matter the color of the skin of the person it damages.
The Times report says Darren Wilson told authorities he was trying to get out of his car when Michael Brown shoved him back in, pinning him. There was a violent struggle. Wilson says Brown punched and scratched him repeatedly, leaving swelling on his face and cuts on his neck. He also told investigators.
What you did not see there, and that was the incorrect tape, what you didn't see were the words of Al Sharpton, the gentleman who is stoking the fires of foment again in Ferguson, Missouri. He is one of the more dangerous individuals in America today. For all he cares about is Al Sharpton. Where trouble goes, there's no doubt that Al Sharpton will follow at any given time and every single day. And the more racial discourse he can stir up, the more hate he can brew, the more he can take advantage of those who blindly follow him into a pit of loathing and abomination, the better it is for him. And the worse it always is for Americans of every color. The time has come to stop listening to, paying attention to, or being swayed by the greatest fraud and charlatan preening his way to fame, fortune, and trading on the hate and fears of others. It is time for cable networks, MSNBC, to dump this liar and race baiter once and for all. And time for anybody with half a brain cell to realize he is part of the problem of racial hate in America and does nothing to bring sides together unless it puts a buck in his bloated, blowhard pockets. And that is telling it like it is. All right, the next hour right here on MidPoint. Canada is having to come to grips with what we here in America have long been forced to understand, that there is terrorism, that there are homemade terrorists. They are within our midst, and they can strike at any time. Also, the fight for religious freedom from the pulpit. What has happened in Houston, Texas, has many people thinking about the government getting involved in religion. And on a slightly lighter note, the politically incoherent take center stage. That's all coming up next hour, right here on MidPoint, where every day, Monday through Friday, we question everything.